Live from a basement studio that definitely does not pass inspection, it's Late Night on the Right. Tonight's guests, Tony Wheatley, the man who puts the why in politics. Jacob Clark, who has more opinions than Twitter on election night. And former state auditor Mike Harmon, the only guy who can make spreadsheets sound exciting. And the man your HOA warned you about, here's your host, Andrew Cooperider.
And welcome everybody to Late Night on the Right, the show where us conservatives can join together in laughter and make sure the left knows they're not getting our spirits down, no matter how ridiculous they get. And my guests tonight are the amazing and wonderful insurrectionist, violent overthrow of the government, anarchist Jacob Clark here with us.
I just want to be left alone.
Violently left alone.
Sounds
of course.
terrible, I know.
Yeah, violently left alone. Sounds awful to me. We should throw him in jail forever. Take away his stuff. Sounds great to me. And sitting next to him here, we've got not Stephen King, but Tony Wheatley rooting on the Guardians, but wearing an Indian hat. You know, Tony, I have to talk to you. We're going to have to send you over to HR for sensitivity training.
I can't help it, but it's a tribe. It's not the, I don't care.
You can't call them the Indians anymore. That's against the rules, sir. They are the Guardians now.
I'm making my own rules.
If you can't change it, you're going to get sent to the same camp Jacob's getting sent to for re-education. All right? Behave. And then finally, former Kentucky State Auditor, current amazing grandpa, Mike Harmon, author of the book Papa's POV. Funny book all around, has a lot of jokes in it. Mike, can you treat us with one of those jokes?
Yes, I would be happy to. I was going to say, if you want a pun, then I'm the guy with the fun. But I will tell you the actual joke. There is...
Hold on.
Sorry.
I just want to be left alone.
But as you can imagine, being termed out as auditor and doing some other stuff, sometimes I get, and I'm old too. You know, I turned 59 here in a couple of weeks. So the other day I was looking in the mirror, feeling so down, and my wife comes in. She's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Look at that. I look so old. I look so tired. Can you tell me just one good thing about myself?" And just to kind of uplift me. And she looked and she thought and she looked and she thought. And she said, "Well, at least your eyesight's still good." That's something. That's a joke.
That's a joke.
I get it.
Someone categorized that as a joke, but you're pretty good, pretty funny politician. I tell you another politician who's at least good at making jokes, and that's Donald Trump. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the government shutdown that is in place and has been, of course, happened.
The government's been shut down?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. But during that process, of course, the House Democrat leader, Hakeem Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer went to the White House to try to negotiate with Trump on keeping the government open. And one of their sticking points is they want the government to spend more money on healthcare. Now, a big place where Trump, of course, has made some cuts is healthcare for illegal immigrants. And the Democrats apparently are a little upset about the fact that they're not voters per se, but
they're their major voting bloc.
Not exactly. I mean, they add it. They're kind of the major voting bloc. You see, this is the thing about illegal immigrants. This is the best thing about them for the Democrats. They don't get to actually vote, but they do count for representation. So it really amplifies the liberal votes of the people who hate themselves living around the illegal immigrants, as far as that goes. So, you know, that helps out. That makes them feel better. It gives them more political power. But so Trump meets with them, and they want the illegal immigrants to have health care. And in order to point that out, Trump went ahead and posted to Truth Social this video right here, pointing out just how ridiculous Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are. Let's take a listen to that.
Sugarcoated. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
This is my favorite timeline. I like this timeline where we have a president that posts those kinds of videos. That is the way to really get at him, right? Of course. But linking that in, though, because this is a saga, okay? So you think you post that video, it's childish, of course. Is it funny?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I think we all agree that is a funny video. It's the kind of thing I wish politicians did more often.
You don't know if he intended to be funny. Maybe he came straight from a birthday dinner in a Mexican restaurant. You don't know that.
You know, it's funny you say that because the Democrats wanted to make sure you knew that was a fake video. Because for some reason, they didn't know you wouldn't. Like, you might actually think Hakeem Jeffries walks around with a giant mustache and a sombrero. So they did come out to complain to make sure you knew that Chuck Schumer would never say those things and Hakeem Jeffries does not walk around with sombrero, mustache, and mariachi band following him. So they did respond to it here, complaining. Let's take a listen to that.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
I want to point out the guy next to him. Production, can you throw that video up again for us real quick? I want you to watch the guy right next to Hakeem Jeffries there on the left side and look at his face.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't
the cocked eyebrow
out through a racist and fake AI
staring
video.
at him with perplexedness.
When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
Watch him clap. Watch him clap. Everybody starts clapping, and then he's like, oh, that was a good point, I guess. I'm supposed to clap. I have no idea who that congressman is. I don't care.
He's probably scared. He's thinking, I thought that was funny.
Well, he looks Hispanic himself, and he goes, that racist stuff. And he's like, I wear sombreros all the time. I don't know. What are you saying, Hakeem Jeffries, you would never wear a sombrero? Or are you saying you hate
thing?
the hat?
I want to know who's holding waters up with a stick in the back.
All I know, if it was between someone doing that to me or calling me racist or fascist or a Nazi, I think I'd rather have that happen to me.
I think so. At least it's funny.
Yeah.
Right? And they needed to make sure you knew it was fake. They're like, this fake video. Now, of course, the funniest thing for Trump to have done is to then, the next time he has Hakeem Jeffries come in, have a sombrero sitting on the desk for him.
Cool.
And as he comes in, slide it across and be like, wear it. Or we're not having this talk. That, to me, would be the funniest move. But Trump did do something pretty funny. So keep in mind, so he puts out this video, Hakeem Jeffries, sombrero, mustache, mariachi band, whatever you say it. And he was offended by it. Hakeem Jeffries runs around calling it bigoted and awful. Trump then goes ahead and tweets this video out.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Well, you know why he had to come out and say, or let everybody know it's fake? Because the liberals can't think for themselves. They have to be taught.
Well, that is true. I mean, all the Democrat states are the ones coming down so hard. Many of them are.
Yeah.
I know some Republican states are. But the Democrat states are coming down so hard on the AI, like Gavin Newsom trying to pass something there in California to deal with that. I think the Supreme Court struck it down, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, but on fake AI videos.
Yeah.
Because they think if somebody might actually believe Hakeem Jeffries wears a sombrero. And he's worried that their Latino voters, the few voters they have left, might be offended by it.
Yeah.
I was more perplexed by the picture of Chuck Schumer at the grill, and he's got the raw hamburger patty, and he's put cheese on
A raw hamburger patty.
And I'm like, I don't even know what to call this. Like,
How's
this
it?
person is weird. It doesn't matter what his nationality, ethnicity is. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, this is not a human being.
Here's my question, too, about that. For those of you unaware at home, what was it? It was Labor Day? Memorial Day?
It's like last year.
It's like last year. Chuck Schumer posted a video where he was making hamburgers on the grill, or a picture, and he put the hamburger was completely raw, and he had put a slice of cheese on the hamburger. Now, any God-fearing, good grilling, know how American knows you put the cheese on after you've already cooked the hamburger. It's one of the last things you do.
Because you can't flip it.
You can't flip it.
If it's got cheese on it.
Right? You can't flip it if it's got cheese on it. It melts too quickly, and unless you're running your grill too low, which he may be. But anyways, the point I want to get to there, though, is that you had Chuck there, you had the guy taking the picture at least, you had all those other people, and nobody knew how to make a proper cheeseburger.
And they call themselves Americans.
I know.
And here they were thinking they were going to beef up their routine, and it just didn't work out.
Oh, they didn't like it. They didn't like that pun, Arvin. You're going to get a lot of that tonight. Anyways.
I mean, even without the AI, there's plenty of actual, real stuff out there that shows these people are Fruit Loops. Yeah.
Complete idiots. Well, speaking of AI losing control here, we've got this story here from Not the Bee. California pull over self-driving car during DUI sting. The San Bruno Police Department was conducting a grant-funded DUI operation when they saw a car make an illegal U-turn right in front of them. They popped on their lights and pulled the car over. There's just one problem. There was no driver. The car was a Waymo taxi. The police department took to Facebook with the unusual circumstance. They did let the car off. Apparently, California just passed a law that hasn't taken effect yet where you can ticket driverless vehicles, I guess ticket the company if they have done something wrong or illegal.
I'm surprised they pulled over, It's like...
I would have gunned it.
At least that's programmed.
I can't take another DUI. They're going to delete me.
Going back. They're going to take away my chip.
I've had one too many Bud Lights. But it does get to the point, though. How is this not like a national law? How have they not just passed a national law to say, look, where the traffic laws are, driverless vehicles can be pulled over for breaking them, and the tickets will be issued to the company operating that. That is an obvious issue that nobody thought to fix. Like, before they allowed driverless vehicles on the road, they should have maybe asked the question of, like, how do we like, enforce the traffic laws on these driverless vehicles? How do we hold them accountable for it?
AI is only taught whatever you put in it, so they should be controlling these things through their knowledge base.
Well, you're hoping they're not like true AI where they're like seeking out information from the web, because there was a movie a while back. We really wouldn't want them to car. I forget what the name of it was, but like humans got points, so
Well, and part of it too. So they say Waymo spokesperson said that their cars are designed to respect the rules of the road. We're looking into this situation and committed to improving road safety through our ongoing learnings and experience. So they say this was an error. It's not supposed to happen. If I get pulled over by the police and they come up and they're like, "Sir, do you have any idea how fast you're going?" Can I get out of the ticket by looking at the officer and saying, "Look, this was a programming error." Okay? I will take your complaint back to the...
Welcome back to Late Night on the Right, the only show where three conservatives and a coffee pot argue about who's more right, while Andrew insists he's the funniest guy in the room, even though nobody asked him.
That voiceover guy, he's going to get sent to HR, okay? He's getting awfully feisty. I'll tell you that much. He's getting a little too feisty. I'm going to go home and cry about it. Anyways, welcome back to Late Night on the Right. I'm your host, Andrew Cooperider, joined today by, of course, the anarchist, violent insurrectionist, Jacob Clark, the Gideon of Constitutions, Tony Wheatley here of Constitutional Kentucky. And finally, but last not least, Mike Harmon, former state auditor, current all-around good guy. Mike, thanks for joining us, of course.
Glad to be here.
You know who wasn't glad to be somewhere, though? I don't know if you guys have seen this past week. The ICE protests. They're getting out of control. Did you see that Ice-T's tour bus had ice tore off the side of it?
Got vandalized.
I mean, the liberals are so crazy now. They don't even want ice in their refrigerator. I mean, that's how bad they are.
The best one was when
that's a big
people
thing in
went
Europe.
to the protests, the liberal protests, put Trump bumper stickers on some cars, and they destroyed their own people's cars.
That's really redirecting them there, isn't it?
There you go.
But so they're getting out of control, getting crazy. I have not seen much of anything arrest-wise. I know Trump came out and he was like, well, Antifa is being labeled a domestic terrorist. Right. I don't actually know what that has resulted in. Hopefully there's something going on behind the scene. But, you know, who knows? But finally, I did see a video of one person being arrested and drug away by ICE at one of these protests. Now, I have the video here for those of you at home, and of course you in here. The video has no audio. I didn't mute it because, frankly, it would have been just beep, 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 beep. Because, of course, as they're dragging away this protester, the other protesters, showing that they are, of course, peaceful and reasonable people, decided to throw as many swear words and attacks at the officers, dragging her away. So what I will do is I'll play the video, and then I will perform the voices for what's going on, okay? Let's see here. Let's take a listen here. Oh, no, let me go. Oh, no. I'm going to throw out my back. Somebody help me with this arm. I'm going to drop it. It's way too heavy.
Somebody go get my
can't
hand.
handle it. Okay, there you go. That was it. That was the actual audio from there. I did hear one of the ICE agents did have to actually see a chiropractor for lower back injuries. Forgot to lift with his legs. I could say. Forgot to lift with his legs.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
Yeah. And so they drug her inside just like that. They were very upset about it. These protesters were. I guess they were expecting to be able to commit crimes, actual crimes, without getting attacked. Now, Jacob, you were called a violent insurrectionist by the governor of your state because you once recorded a video putting out your opinions with a gun behind your head.
Right.
That Democrat called you a violent insurrectionist who should be held accountable for that, right?
Right. He said I brandished a weapon. I mean, it's on a shelf behind me in a room. When we're in Kentucky, like I've got a gun in just about every room. Tony Wheatley, he might have a gun or two. He probably doesn't want to say, but
listen, if you only have one gun in every room, you're un-American, sir. Okay, you gotta have a gun. You gotta have your main gun, a long gun of some sort, shotgun, rifle, depending on where you're at. You know,
I'm actually terrified of
and
guns.
40 years ago,
I just,
40 years ago in our schools, people would drive to school with a shotgun in the back of their truck.
Right.
I
Hang it
did.
up, yeah. So,
by the door. Rifle for long distance.
Yeah.
In case they're trying to get away, you can open up. You got a longer shot there, right? Okay. Inside, you've got your shotguns. You don't want it to penetrate the walls, maybe hit one of your family members. But so you've got to have one of those every room. Okay.
Right.
But you also need to have a sidearm in every room too.
Sure.
And then in case any of those fail, it's always good to have a backup other sidearm. So I think you got to have 3 guns per room. At least that's what I'm telling my wife.
I got 2 sidearms, one on the right and one on the left. So.
Oh, they found that one funny. They did find that one funny.
Thank you.
That's good. 2 sidearms. But anyways, so they called you a violent insurrectionist for having a gun behind your head while you talked about something. These people are literally like throwing rocks and items at these people.
Yeah.
Like they are literally blocking cars, banging on cars. They are literally committing violent acts. And they record it and they post it.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is nobody being arrested? That's my question.
Well, on that video, it shows why I will never be a protester because it's such a drag. So.
Oh, they didn't like that one. They like your other one.
Okay, we'll work on it.
I'll talk to the
I
audience.
got a million
on
of
the
them. None of them are any good, but I got a million of them.
I'll talk to the audience on the break. Speaking of people who didn't really plan their life out, as clearly that woman has not thought through all of her life decisions, because if you have made good, well-adjusted decisions in life, it doesn't end, of course, something like being drug away by federal agents, by 4 or 5 federal agents to drag you away like like a wounded deer being drug away by a pack of hyenas, a big deer, being drug away by a pack of hyenas. That normally doesn't occur in your life. Something else that doesn't normally occur in your life is, of course, shooting yourself in the leg.
Oh, wow.
In order to hide the fact that you lied about being abducted to the police. Of course, this story coming to us from Florida.
Ta-da.
Anybody
Florida man.
shocked?
Florida man.
It's
Florida young man.
Right, Florida boy.
Are you?
Huh?
Oh, you're saying? I thought you said you're from Florida.
No.
No, okay. I was gonna be. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend Florida. No, yeah. Florida teen accused of faking abduction, shooting himself, and sparking Amber Alert. That's right. So this comes here. A Florida teen is accused of falsely claiming he was shot and abducted before disappearing with camping gear and then later shooting himself in the leg. Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods announced the allegations Monday in a Facebook video saying 17-year-old Caden Spite's abduction claims were proven to be false. The investigation began Friday after urgent messages from Spite prompted an Amber Alert and large law enforcement response. Authorities said he texted his family claiming he'd been shot and abducted. So I guess he writes text to his parents saying, I've been shot, I've been abducted, I'm being taken away. What he really did was brought a bunch of camping gear and went to camp out. Perhaps he wasn't expecting the kind of response he got. What do you think his plan was? You think it was about money?
I don't know, but afterwards I heard he became very religious because now he's holier than thou.
Well,
Why do you have so many of these?
Sorry.
They're upset. They're upset about it.
Sorry, we'll work on it.
I think this is called smulleting. Isn't that what this is called? You shoot yourself in the leg and claim you've been assaulted.
Oh,
I'll
and that's
trick
taking it to a different level, though. Smollett was happy just to have his Subway and hang a noose around his neck. This guy really went to sell it.
Yeah.
The question is what was your plan? So you're going to shoot yourself in the leg, and
Collect
then they
some
win it?
ransom money. I don't know.
Figure out who shot. Well, I think he left to collect the ransom money. His idea was, I'm going to collect ransom money for my family. And then he saw the response. I guess he assumed that if you text your parents, I've been shot and abducted, that's just the kind of thing that gets swept under the rug at the local police station.
He probably texted from his own phone. Billy's trying this again.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he probably imagine doing a phone call with it, but like trying to pretend to be the other voice. Help, mom! Get over here, you dirty kid! Help! Playing both parts. Anyways, so I guess that had to have been his plan. I'm going to then ask for money. I didn't expect all this, and then the search really got going. And then he decided to shoot himself in the leg. Now, here's the thing, though. He had that gun. He brought that gun. The police say he brought that gun from home. So he claimed he was shot in the leg and abducted, and then planned on bringing his own gun from the house? So he had to have always been planning to shoot himself in the leg, right?
Probably.
So listen.
That's what was going to make it feel real. He could say, I escaped, after they got the money, they let me go.
And they wouldn't figure out your own gun shot you? He's like, look, they still can't figure out who killed Epstein. So,
Right. Get this to Pam Bondi's desk now.
We want her investigating. Hopefully I drew the lucky straw. Pam Bondi's the investigator. She'll never figure out this one. Oh, gosh, please get rid of her.
Yeah.
Get rid of her.
Immediately.
Do you see what she did to that ICE agent? Did you guys see that?
No.
Or maybe not, but the DOJ or whatever. So ICE agent, right, is caught on video pushing a woman down. Okay. Not the full video. Full video existed. They look at the full video. And the lady, before the ICE agent pushed him down, was like yelling angrily and like hitting this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the ICE agent kept telling her, go away, step away. And she didn't. And so finally he pushed her away and she flopped like LeBron James onto the ground. And she flopped like LeBron James onto the ground. Maybe skin to knee, maybe, But this video gets posted and this ICE agent ends up getting fired for it. And just literally like a few weeks earlier, Pam Bondi had put out a post saying that if you touch an ICE agent, we will be coming after you.
Yeah.
And apparently she meant we'll be coming after you to give you roses and an apology because this lady was beating on this ICE agent and he ends up pushing her away. She falls down. Now, 48 hours later, this ICE agent was reinstated.
Sure.
But how was he ever let go to begin with? I'm just pointing out. Okay, we as conservatives have got to point out when people are doing something wrong, like this boy shooting himself.
Well, anytime you
in
get
the
a
foot.
small clip of a video, that ought to be a red flag to you. You know, what happened before, what happened after, you know, all those things.
I know
Some things are like, I don't care what happened before or after, this is uncalled for, but many times the context matters.
it does. It does. I know that when I'm shown a very short clip, my immediate thought is,
Right.
this is the whole story. Remember
Right. This has got to be it.
the horse whipping, the ICE agents whipping.
Border guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That was like a scandal for months that he was just riding with reins. And they were just like, they even had a photo and you're just like, oh, he's clearly not whipping them. Like, that's obvious to me.
Right.
But
But they never apologized, did they?
I don't think
Biden
so.
administration.
I don't think so. Speaking of Biden administration,
Government never apologized.
here we go. We've got this here, Fox News Politics exclusive. Unearthed Biden note cards reveal he had bios, photos, and reminders for people like Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer.
Is this surprising to anyone in the room? You know?
Kamala Harris is surprised.
No, she's not.
That's her surprise laugh. Listen to it.
That's a surprise.
She is surprised.
That's all of her laughs are the same. Sorrowful laugh,
Andrew.
Right.
Andrew. Yeah. No.
sorrowful laugh, same.
Right?
Okay. Uncomfortable laugh.
She's eating a raw hamburger. Same laugh. You know?
Same laugh.
Or reading Biden's card says, hey, look, I got to go pee.
Well, and so anyway, so we have these unearthed Biden note cards.
Yeah.
So he had to have bios and photo reminders for like Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Hillary Clinton. Now, I wish I could forget Hillary Clinton to the point that I needed a reminder.
Yeah, that'd be great.
She
You would.
existed, of course. I wish I had that. But Joe Biden actually needed a reminder.
He
Then-
worked so hard to
we
forget
were
her.
told, we were told he's perfectly fine. He's all there. He could pass cognitive tests, yada, yada, yada.
Okay, he had a
didn't
reminder
even
card
believe
for
it.
Schumer.
Right.
He
They-
served in the Senate with
He
Schumer
had
for
it
like
hard for her to ride about his
100
shoes,
years.
much less Schumer.
Like literally,
Pause,
him and
Pause,
Schumer,
Repeat last line.
him and Schumer invented fire together. How did he forget? How did he forget about Schumer? And also, how do you sit there with the straight face as the press and be like, you know what? This guy's ready for a debate with Trump.
Yeah, right.
The guy we need to remind about Hillary Clinton existing.
Oh, that
and Chuck
first
Schumer.
that debate was a setup anyway. They wanted Biden out. It's just like, okay, we do this debate, we do it before the convention, and we get him out.
We'll convince him it was his idea.
We'll
too.
convince him it was his idea.
Speaking of Hillary Clinton recently on Morning Joe says white men of a certain religion are full of it. We'll wonder what religion that might be. We'll have that when we come back here on Late Night on the Right, joined, of course, by Jacob Clark, Tony Wheatley, and former Kentucky State Auditor Mike Harmon. We thank you guys all. We'll be back in a few short minutes.
You're watching Late Night on the Right, where politics meets punchlines, and Andrew Cooperider takes no prisoners. Stay tuned. The fun is just getting started. Right, starring Andrew Cooperider. Because apparently, America ran out of qualified talk show hosts. Stick around. His guests are way smarter than he is.
And welcome back to Late Night on the Right. Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. Joined today. A little long on the clapping. Let's calm it down back there. Okay. Anyways, joined today by Jacob Clark, Tony Wheatley, and of course Mike Harmon. So before the break, we were talking about how Biden needed to be reminded Hillary Clinton existed. I personally wish I needed to be reminded Hillary Clinton existed. For some reason, she's still a thing after losing to Donald Trump and
She's always been a
Losing to
thing.
Barack Obama.
losing to Barack Obama, losing to Monica Lewinsky. After losing to all those people, she's still a thing. And she was on Morning Joe spouting off about how her problem is with white men of a certain religion. Let's see why she's got a big issue with followers of Hinduism. Let's take a listen to that.
Recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology. It's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path toward that. I mean, imperfectly, lots of, bumps along the way, but I agree with you, we were on the right trajectory.
Bumps along the way.
Yeah.
Must be her plastic surgery.
Like her husband's scandal in the White House.
Maybe that was
there you go.
Benghazi.
Yeah.
Bumps along the way.
A little road
Yeah,
bump,
30
just a few Americans dead.
Yeah. 30,000 emails. No big deal.
Nah, just a few servers here or there.
Right.
We just had a few bumps. Possibly our own coup against the incoming president. Just a few.
Small, minor,
Little.
itsy, bitsy. By the way, I called a meeting of old, white, Protestant Republicans, and we took a vote. She will never be president. But we decided to go ahead and include all other men, and they've all voted that she will never be president whatsoever. And Bill and Barack chimed in on that. So
They also jumped in on the
they also told her that she will never. It's interesting. She has those comments, but really it's because of a white, and I believe he was Protestant. Bill Clinton was Protestant. That's the only reason she has any notoriety at all, because she wouldn't have been a senator from New York if it wasn't for Bill Clinton. She wouldn't have been Secretary of State if it wasn't for Bill Clinton. And she has been beaten by two men, Barack Obama and,
But
obviously.
Barack Obama wasn't white.
Well, that's true.
You think she would have chimed in with that? That should have been a better chime in. Should have been
Yeah.
white and sometimes black men of a certain persuasion holding me
So
back.
what you're saying is she just rode the men's coattails all the way to where she is today.
Pretty much.
What she's
Pretty
saying
much.
is she still wakes up every morning, looks in the mirror, and says, "Why won't these whiteys vote for me?"
Well, and she's still looking at the presidency. She's thinking it much like, yes. She's thinking it much like Gollum, It's like, my precious, I got to have my precious.
I want to understand, how is that not racist? Hakeem Jeffries is whining about this sombrero thing. How is this here not racist against, a large portion of Americans?
Well, she just should have just come out and called us crackers and went on.
Yeah.
Because that's what she did.
Well, I mean, she said her exact words were, "Let's just go ahead and say it. White men of a certain." No, you didn't just go ahead and say it. Just go ahead and say it. White Christian Republicans are causing me problems.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Men. White Christian
men.
Republican
And her exact statement was, they're trying to create a world that had never been, a world dominated by white Christian men. The problem with that statement, have we not all been told that our government is inherently racist, is inherently bigoted,
Right.
is inherently sexist, because it was built by white Christian racist old men?
They try to have it both ways. Yeah.
We never had power as white Christian men, but at the same time, we had so much power back in the day that it's literally destroying their lives today. Some guy 250 years ago is literally destroying Hillary Clinton's life today. She's not able to be president because of some white guy from many years ago. That she'll say that, but then also, you guys never really had any power at all. Kind of interesting point there, right?
It is different.
Maybe she should be taking a better interest, of course, in her children and being a good mother. Something that, I don't know.
Well, there's one white guy is the reason she's never been president, and that's Donald Trump.
Well, hold on. Is Comey white?
But yeah.
FBI director?
Yeah.
Comey?
Yes.
Didn't he release the server info after that meeting on the tarmac?
Right.
He could be to blame too.
Yeah, right. It's got to be the
Two.
white guys.
It could be two. Donald Trump existing.
I see what she's saying
and
now.
Comey being as incompetent as he is. I mean,
Yeah, it's totally all the white guys. You're right. Yeah.
so she could have been a better mother. I think we all agree. We've seen how Chelsea Clinton turned out. They don't like her either. So speaking of, though, a mother who maybe, so that's one end of the spectrum. You have Hillary Clinton that, clearly not a highly involved mother. Then you have another mother here that maybe, perhaps, has taken it a little too far when she decides to start stripping in a school board meeting to make a point on transgender kids in the locker room. Let's watch that. Wives, cover your husband's eyes. Here you go.
Great video.
Child's transgender identity that they can pick which bathroom they want. So we have, right now at this school district, we have children self-identifying into different bathrooms. This is allowed. No.
We're going to recess.
I'm going to finish my comments, or you are violating my First Amendment right. I am putting on my uniform.
This lady.
Well-known parents' rights activist in Davis with children in the school district, and she tells me she felt the only way to get the board's attention was to turn to drastic measures by taking off her shirt and then her pants to get her point across.
Yesterday, as I was preparing my comments, I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I just thought I would show the school board what does it feel like to change into your PE clothing. And I had a bathing suit on, so everything was covered as an outfit. How can they expect the girls to feel comfortable doing that? So I just thought I made a really good point.
Her husband, the next time she's off to the school board meeting, he's going to be like, honey, what are you wearing underneath that? Are you going to embarrass his family again?
I got really
I'm just wearing a raincoat.
Guys, I have to admit, I got really concerned when Andrew sent us this clip. I was afraid he might start doing the same thing here to make his point.
It's some ways to get attention. I'll say that. I'll say,
But
put him away.
I mean, I've seen them come to dressed up like furries on, in these shows. So.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I appreciate the fight. I do.
Yes.
I agree with the fight. I think all of us here agree with her point, and I understand it's struggling. You sit there, you're in front of these school boards. Have all of us talked at school boards before?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Pretty sure.
They don't really listen. You could be an auditor, let's say. I don't know who that would be.
They tried to block comments for a year and a half in Kentucky. We had to pass a law to force comments.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You can be an auditor sitting there telling them they're going bankrupt, and they're like, la, 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 la.
Right.
Spend more money, spend more money, spend more money.
Mike, the problem was you didn't wear your bikini.
Right.
Maybe that would have gotten your point across.
Speedo.
That would have got everybody out of the audience.
We'll do whatever you want. Just stop.
But it is interesting. You talk about, but the point she was trying to make is, unfortunately, our young ladies are having men go into their bathrooms because they're claiming they're women and then dressing in front of them, and their anatomy still looks like men. And they probably, and so it's, she did make a good point, and we are talking about it.
We are talking about it. That is true.
Point. I wouldn't encourage that, but
girls are uncomfortable. Those people were uncomfortable. It was headed toward a good point, but it's kind of
got a little off the rails.
The cringe kind of it was.
Well, it was not
the cringe outweighed the whole point, But we're talking about it. I don't know. That lady's next job interview is going to be wild.
but wasn't it not?
Did she bring the bikini?
Yeah. Not the stripping, but didn't Senator Lindsay Tishner? Didn't she take one of the books that they had in the school library?
Trying to read it.
She was trying to read it and show the pictures. We can't show that because it had things.
Nancy May showed a nude photo of herself once in a congressional hearing.
She did. Yes.
I guess it's all off now. As far as I do find it funny when she sits
I'm a little uncomfortable in the direction we're going.
I do find it funny, speaking of uncomfortable, I do find it funny when she says, you're violating my First Amendment right as they end her time. They're like, we're going into recess, and they're trying to end her time. She's like, you're violating my First Amendment right. Now, normally, when I first watched that, I thought, come on. You don't have a First Amendment right to get stripped down to a bikini. And then I remembered that pornography has been defined by our Supreme Court as a First Amendment protected activity.
Yeah.
I think maybe she did have a thing. I just feel bad for her.
But she even said she's put her clothes back on, and they were still walking out.
Yeah, she was changing. She was putting on, she said, her PE uniform. I do feel bad for the kid, though.
Yeah.
One, when she asked to borrow her PE uniform, she was like, honey, could I borrow your PE uniform? I swear I'm not going to do anything weird with it.
I swear.
But she borrows her PE uniform to do that. Or maybe she doesn't have a kid anymore in the school. That's best case scenario. She doesn't have a daughter,
We would hope
perhaps,
so.
that she's
In the
embarrassed
state.
anywhere near her.
Yeah, right.
To be embarrassed by what she was doing. But she thought it was a good point, and more power to her. She is from the Liberties for Mom crowd, and they have been, let's call a spade a spade, they've been escalating a little bit of their antics as they attempt to get a little more attention to their cause and their fight. And I think they do, of course, have good points. I think we all agree with that. Maybe there's a better way to make
Maybe there's a better way. There you go.
Maybe, perhaps.
Besides standing outside the bathrooms, make sure a man doesn't go in. That's where I'll
She could stand outside the bathrooms in her bikini,
Well,
that would keep a lot of men away. I
But,
think.
yeah, it might. You know,
It might. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it.
I didn't either.
Just,
You know,
it's a
you
little
can't see too
grainy.
much in the picture, but you know, beside the point. We do. You know, it's just. I get her. I get her point. She's trying to make a good point to stop people from to make people uncomfortable. They were uncomfortable, obviously, and if they're uncomfortable, you know those teenage girls are.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that is the point. Like, we're
that is the
uncomfortable.
point.
It is an uncomfortable thing to take your clothes off and for somebody to take their clothes off around you.
And the interesting
so-
thing is, this has happened too in one other state where a girl went into a boy's bathroom claiming that she was a boy, and those two boys got in trouble for at least a couple of days. But
Yeah, that was happening in my county, and we got a lot of boys that are raised to be Christian gentlemen.
yes.
And they're like, I can't go to the bathroom. That girl is in there. I can't go in the restroom. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is happening over and over and over and over and over. And so, you know.
Look, I mean, it's
Works both
I
ways.
had to take my kid out of public school because he was in the 5th grade and he had 2 transgender kids in the grade with him, and one wouldn't stop trying to kick him in the balls. So that was a real issue I had to deal with, and I'm like, not public school anymore. That's a problem.
Yeah, I know why.
That's an
You're
issue.
that Andrews kid, aren't you?
Well,
My
speaking
daddy
of
warned me of you.
speaking of people who are a problem here, coming up after this, we have Hawley, Josh Hawley, Representative Hawley. Good guy. I like him generally. He makes good points. He was questioning a former Biden staffer that's all about defund the police, all these other things. It becomes a rather heated discussion. Not really heated, but a question gets asked, question I want you to ponder at home. What is a two-spirited person? I think that's worth thinking. I don't know if it's a person who's had both liquor, had both gin and bourbon in them at the same time. But when we come back, we'll see if the guy who used this in a taxpayer-funded study can chime in with that. So Andrew Cooperider, your host for Late Night on the Right, joined, of course, by Jacob Clark, the Gideon of Constitutions, Tony Wheatley, and former Kentucky State Auditor Mike Harmon. Mike, question for you.
Yes.
It's going to have to wait till we get back.
Okay.
We got to end this segment here. So when you come back, I will be asking Mike a question as well. So we'll have that in a few short minutes.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more riveting content like Andrew talking over his guests, Tony pretending he knows the Wi-Fi password, and Mike Harmon explaining why balance sheets are hotter than TikTok trends. Don't change the channel. Mostly because you already lost the remote. Welcome back to Late Night on the Right, the only show where 3 conservatives and a coffee pot argue about who's more right, while Andrew insists he's the funniest guy in the room, even though nobody asked him.
And welcome back to Late Night on the Right. I am the funniest guy in the room. That's why I'm the
I thought that was going to be the question.
Yeah,
Am I the funniest guy in the room?
funniest guy in the room?
Yeah,
I
he
said
does
before
it
the
on
break, I'd
purpose,
ask
so
Mike
he puts
Harmon a
three
question.
straight guys in the room and until he can be the funniest. You know.
If there was a funnier guy in the room than me, they should host the show. Okay, just saying that's the argument. But you're very close second,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Very
I
close
gotta
second.
admit.
So here's my question.
Okay.
So you did auditing,
Yes.
looking at the books,
Yes.
seeing if people spent their money well.
Yes.
Did you ever find anybody spending money on a study that then they themselves didn't even understand the conclusions they came to?
I don't recall that, but I found a lot of other stuff, including not a study, but the University of Louisville had a foundation that they lent themselves money, the college money, close to $60 million, and nobody knew it until we read the notes of their other audit that they had, which was
60 million just shows up. They're like,
like,
oh shucks, I have no idea where this came from. What do you mean $60 million? I'm sorry, that's a clerical error. That's just small amounts of money.
Small amount of money.
Small amounts
Just
of money.
move the dot over. Come on.
Just 60 million. We thought it was 6,000. Anyways, well, this guy here, this is a former Biden staffer, Gregory Jackson Jr. He's testifying in front of some committee, and Josh Hawley, and him have a little back and forth. Let's see what we have to say.
Is defunding the police, which is what this says. The entire time. This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
You say that you shouldn't invest in the police, but we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
Look, we are not going to discriminate against that. We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
what
wants
is
to
a
help us prevent
two-spirit?
violence in
What
our
is
community.
two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or
You
the
wrote the
spirit of how that was
report?
written. But what I'm telling you is that what is
a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymaker's playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views.
Well,
you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing
Oh, no, sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's
You're also
reading you your
speaking out
own
against
words, and I'd like to hear an
violence
answer.
programs.
Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe. And when you're called...
I'll be honest. I don't know what a two-spirit person is.
Right.
I don't think any of us know exactly what that is.
I really focus on the three-spirit, the Father, the Son, and the Holy
There
Ghost.
you
That's
go.
what we like to focus on.
Well, hold on.
Can't go wrong with that.
That was the small group laughter button.
There you go.
Yeah. But I'll tell you somebody who definitely doesn't know what two-spirit is. That guy testified.
Somebody used AI. They didn't check their work.
I can tell you exactly what's going on here. This guy was supposed to write this report, and the night before, he's like, I spent all this money. I've got to write this report tomorrow. AI, write me a report on this. He has no idea what's in it, and slopped it down and gave it to him.
He's like, well, as they're pulling out the quote, he's like, and you got this report on creating safe spaces. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, I like where this is going. I like where safe spaces. It was supposed to be about that. And then they read through it. And they're like, two-spirit. He's like, oh.
It's probably the first time you ever read it.
Right, exactly.
Sir, this is news to me.
Almost like you hear it come out of his voice. Oh. It's like, am I supposed to know what it?
So, but the report was supposed to be on, he said, invest in violence intervention. Okay, now, when you look at violence, statistically speaking, okay, the only violence, statistically speaking, You at home, I don't want angry letters. This is the stats.
I know where
Write
you're
it
going with
to someone else.
Yep.
Statistically speaking, the only violence that we should really be concerned about when it comes to lesbian, gay, bisexual, and possibly two-spirited is domestic violence. I guess in the two-spirit part, the one spirit's beating up the other spirit, and they're just collateral damage. I don't know. But
Split personality.
there's a lot of domestic violence within those things. So creating safe spaces for lesbian, gay, bisexual people would be to separate them from other lesbian, gay, and bisexual people, right? That would be the safe space. When you're talking about violence intervention, statistically speaking, like when you think of violence, like carjackings, crimes like that, robbery, perhaps not self-murder, but murder, not suicide, but murder.
Rape,
rape, those kinds of things. Careful on rape, but
violent crime.
But just violent crimes like that. You generally don't think of lesbian, gay, and bisexual people needing the help there. You think of other people like young fatherless men. And, that guy's kind of a traitor in a way because that's where the problem is. Yeah. And instead of trying to put more money into, let's just call it the black community, which would be an opportunity, that's what he should be calling for. That should be the leftist line here. Instead, he wants to give it to two-spirited people.
Yeah. He's not basing it on any statistics that I've seen that would support it,
Maybe he owns a company called Two Spirit. Maybe that's who he's advocating for money to go to. Sir, that's a misquote. It should be Two Spirit LLC.
Yeah.
My company.
I say give them all their own safe space, find them an island and say, hey, here you go, fight it out.
I think a safe space would be nice for them, and I think that safe space looks like a giant padded cell. I think that's where they're safest at. I do want to point out one more thing, too, about it. We're running out of time here. The giant card thing. Do they not have PowerPoint? Like, how much in tax money is being spent on these giant cards being pulled out in congressional hearings?
It's a visual thing because it's hard to see it on the big screen.
I get it.
It's in your face.
Every meeting, though, I don't even know where you get those made, but they go down their local Staples.
And Kinko's is closed.
Yeah. So they go down to the local Staples or something and say, look, I need a poster board. They're like, oh, what account? Congress. Be like, oh, that's the 20th today.
It's a big conspiracy by, big giant card industry,
I just wondering, can we get a projector? Can we dim the lights? Can we not just dim the lights?
I hate to say it, but we did use some of those big posters when I was auditor just for visual effects. We had, I think we did one when we did the office of the court, the administrative office of the courts. I think we had some of all the stuff they had piled up that supposedly was surplus that they were supposed to get rid of.
PowerPoints are cheaper there, Mike. That's all I'm saying. Well, y'all, we are coming to an end here on Late Night on the Right. I thank you all so much for joining us. Jacob Clark.
Get off my lawn.
What's that?
Get off my lawn.
Jacob Clark wants to be left alone. Tony Wheatley and former Kentucky State Auditor Mike Harmon.
Man with the puns that are very fun.
The man with the puns that are very fun. All right. Y'all have a good night there at home. We'll see you next week.